What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. Sorry for the blurriness. We're going to be doing another quick comparison between the iPhone 11 versus a phone that I actually haven't compared it to yet. I've done like a million of these comparisons, still have not compared it yet, to the iPhone 7 Plus. Now both of these phones are obviously very good phones, the iPhone 11 being the better phone in every direction. So I'm going to spoil it. If you're trying to figure out which one is the better phone between these, I will tell you without a doubt, obviously the iPhone 11 is the better phone whichever way you look at it. I do understand the 7 Plus has a high resolution screen, but without a doubt the iPhone 11 is the better overall phone. But how much better of a phone is it? Especially when you consider you can get an iPhone 7 Plus in the used market for fairly cheaper, about half the price that you can get for a brand new iPhone 11. And plus, we're not even talking about the highest variant storage for these. I mean, you can get a 256 one of these for like a price of even $400 versus something like this. So I'm going to be doing a speed comparison, camera comparison a little bit, but I'll make a separate video talking about the cameras and all that. But before I get too far into this video, I am still doing an iPhone XR giveaway. I'm giving one of these away randomly to one of you guys. So if you want to enter that, all you have to do is click the second link down or the fourth link down in the description. It'll take you to a video. Watch that video in its entirety. It'll explain all the ways to enter. There's a couple different ones, so make sure you guys watch the whole video in order to understand. But I just want to say thank you for you guys. The views have been crazy up, so I figured I might as well just say what's up and give you guys something. So make sure you guys enter that giveaway. But looking around the bodies, ultimately, what I can tell you is they both kind of feel the same in the hands. There were some cases where I would say the 7 Plus might feel more premium only because of the jet black variant of this. This is the matte black variant, so it's not really comparable. But the jet black version of the iPhone 7 Plus I think is the best feeling iPhone that Apple's ever released. But between these two, obviously looking at the front, big difference, a 5.5 inch 1080p panel on the 7 Plus with the home button and a lot of bezel on it versus the 6.1 inch panel on the iPhone 11. No home button. A little bit of bezel around the screen, not too much that you can tell, much better looking than the iPhone 7 Plus, but you do have that notch, which a lot of people don't like, but it's not that big of a deal. Looking at the side of the phone's volume buttons, pretty similar. In terms of the chassis and the thickness, the 7 Plus is definitely a little bit thinner than the iPhone 11, and that mostly has to do with the thickness, obviously. I used to think that the back glass actually stuck out more on the 7 Plus, on the iPhone 11, but that wasn't the case. The 7 Plus definitely is thinner than the iPhone 11. But it's weird though because they have almost the same size batteries, which is kind of interesting. Glass back on the iPhone 11, simple, elegant back on the iPhone 7 Plus, dual camera setups on both phones. However, they're both kind of different. The iPhone 11 has an ultra wide sensor, the 7 Plus has a telephoto lens which allows you to zoom in twice as much more into a photo. So whether you like it or not, it really doesn't matter. It has that capability. Bro, what is going on with my voice right now? Power buttons on the left side, and really that's pretty much it. At the core features, they're both exactly the same. You guys already know they both can do calls and all that good stuff. But in terms of the outside, that's pretty much it. No home button, no headphone jacks in either of these phones. But on the outside, that really pretty much covers it. Now, in terms of these software updates, okay, what I'll definitely tell you is the 7 Plus will probably, not last as long as the iPhone 11. This has a lot to do with both the specs of the phone, but also the chipset within the 7 Plus, which kind of goes along with the specs. The 7 Plus came out with a chipset that kind of made it a little bit old, but here's the thing. The chipset within the 7 Plus also is in the new iPad that Apple just released, so that makes me think that this phone will at least get an extra version of software support that, the iPhone, 6S is probably not going to get. So this might go all the way up to iOS 15, but the iPhone 11, as we know, just got started. So this one is going to definitely outlast the 7 Plus, whichever way you look at it. It's not even going to be funny. But with that being said, this one will still last you, I think, up until iOS 15. So if you still own this phone, feel free to use it. Obviously, nobody's forcing you to upgrade, but you can definitely keep it for a lot longer than you actually might think. So that's definitely an important thing to note. However, on the iPhone 11, it's definitely going to outlast the 7 Plus, by at least a couple years. So if you want that futurability, if you don't even want to worry about software updates, the iPhone 11 might be the phone to go, in my opinion. So that pretty much covers it up in terms of software updates as well. Let's go and do a little bit of a speed comparison. I have about the same apps on both phones, so I'm going to see which ones open them faster and all that. With the iPhone 11, though, I'll tell you the specs. The iPhone 11 came with the Apple A13 Bionic chip, a hexa-core CPU, and 4 GB of RAM, which is a pretty big upgrade from the previous model, but the iPhone 7 Plus actually has the Apple A10 Fusion chip and 3 GB of RAM. This was the first iPhone to bring 3 GB of RAM, which is a pretty big deal. So with that being said, let's go ahead and see which iPhone can technically be the faster one. Is it going to be the older iPhone or is it going to be the newer one? Newsflash, I'll probably tell you the newer iPhone is probably going to be the faster one, but you never know, guys. So let's go and get to this speed comparison. Okay, and we're back. I'm going to go ahead and clear out all the apps in the background. The iPhone 11 is already cleared out. Now we are cleared out on the iPhone 7 Plus. So let's go and start loading these up. Let's do Facebook. 3, 2, 1. As you guys saw, the iPhone 11 was the faster one. Alright, we're starting off pretty good. Twitter. 3, 2, 1. And for some reason, the 7 Plus was the faster one there. I don't really get that one. Instagram. 3, 2, 1. And the iPhone 11 was just a split second faster, but honestly, not by much. Not as fast as I was thinking. Netflix. 3, 2, 1. And again, the iPhone 7 Plus was the faster device. Alright, this is kind of interesting. Quizlet. 3, 2, 1. And I honestly wasn't looking, but if the iPhone 11 won, great. If the 7 Plus won, that's not good for at least the iPhone 11. Bofa. 3, 2, 1. And the iPhone 11 won there. The 7 Plus shortly after. Not a crazy difference, but definitely interesting. Thank you. 3, 2, 1. The iPhone 11 won that. And then the 7 Plus got in shortly after. Not a crazy difference as I was expecting, but definitely a noticeable one. As you can see, gameplay is going to be exactly the same. So, Snake versus Blocks. 3, 2, 1. And the iPhone 11 won that, but there really wasn't too big of a difference between these two, if I'm being honest. Of course, the iPhone 11 was going to probably be the faster one overall, but still not as big of a difference as I thought it was going to be. Temple Run. 3, 2, 1. Now I will have to restart it because on the iPhone 11 I was in the middle of a game. Temple Run again. 3, 2, 1. Okay, I had to put this flower in to give some effect. And you know what? Like I stated, iPhone 11 is probably going to win this one as it already did, but there wasn't that big of a difference between them. The iPhone 7 Plus really did. It was just literally right behind the iPhone 11. Not a humongous difference in my opinion. Fruit Ninja. 3, 2, 1. And the iPhone 11 won that one. The 7 Plus shortly after, as you guys saw, but like I stated, dude, not that big of a difference. Paper Out 2. 3, 2, 1. And again, I mean, literally there is such a minor difference between these that I don't think it would be worth upgrading just for the speed, in my opinion, but I'll get into my opinions in a second. As you can see, there was very little difference. Temple Run 2. 3, 2, 1. iPhone 11 is loaded in, and it's okay. So, the iPhone 11 was noticeably ahead of the iPhone 7 Plus there. Is it a humongous difference? In this specific game, there kind of was, in my opinion, but, it's kind of up to you. Let's get into some gameplay, see if they stutter at all. And they both look to be almost exactly the same, so actually the jumping on the 7 Plus looked a little different, but Real Racing 3, 3, 2, 1. And you can see the iPhone 11 got into it. The iPhone 7 Plus is still loading. It's going to take its time for sure. Not a big problem with that though. And still loading on the 7 Plus. So this might showcase the biggest advantage for the iPhone 11 in terms of gaming and hardcore gaming like this. There seems to be a huge loading time for the 7 Plus. With the iPhone 11, is pretty decent. As you can see, we finally got into it. But the iPhone 11 was ready to go. In terms of the Antutu benchmark score, which I'll show you right now, 192,000 on the iPhone 7 Plus. Pretty good score. But you can see the iPhone 11 has 450,000, which is a pretty big upgrade from this. So what I'll tell you is this, the iPhone 11 without a doubt is the faster phone. There were cases in the beginning with that the iPhone 7 Plus was kind of winning and kind of ahead of it, but it kind of simmered down toward the end. And I can definitely tell you the iPhone 11 is the faster device between these. So that kind of covers that. Let's go and talk about the cameras. Now, interestingly enough, both these phones have dual camera setups. So the iPhone 11 has two 12 megapixel sensors. The 7 Plus has two 12 megapixel sensors. But they're both kind of different. And when you combine them, that kind of equals an iPhone 11 Pro camera. So we have an ultra-wide sensor here as well as the regular lens. But we have a telephoto lens as well as the regular lens, which that telephoto lens allows you to do portrait mode and things like that. But the iPhone 11 can also do portrait mode and things like that as well. So In terms of actually using them, yes, the iPhone 7 Plus is still completely usable. It's very, very good. You have that telephoto lens, you have portrait mode and everything like that. You don't have like night mode, you don't have the ultra wide sensor, you don't have a lot of those other cool features that the iPhone 11 has, but you have enough to get you by, and it's definitely still good in my opinion. The iPhone 11 though is definitely the better sensor. You also have, like the telephoto. You don't have the telephoto lens, but you can still zoom in quite a bit, but you have that ultra wide sensor, which you can see my legs and my feet and all that. Some people like it, some people don't. Obviously, it's a really cool feature to have. You have portrait mode on this device too, which is super, super cool. You have night mode, you have different things like that, which is an awesome, awesome feature. So ultimately, whichever way you look at it, the iPhone 11 is definitely the better camera sensor. Now, hitting on the battery life, what I'll tell you is that both sizes on the battery are almost the same. You have about 3000 mAh batteries on both devices. The iPhone 11 is just a little bit bigger. But what's cool about that is that the battery life between these two isn't going to be crazily different in my opinion. Now, some people would beg to offer or differ. I'll definitely say the iPhone 11's battery will be better because of that optimized chipset, the newer chipset, but also because of the lower resolution screen. So that has a lot to do with the battery life and everything too. So what I'll tell you is the 7 Plus's battery is good, but the iPhone 11's is just better than that. But surprisingly, the iPhone 11's battery was like a small improvement from the 10R in my opinion. Apple said up to 1 hour better. I doubt it. I think it's like a little bit, but not that much. But ultimately, this is what I'll tell you. If you want to get the iPhone 11, it's a very good phone. There's really nothing wrong with it. I would highly recommend you guys to pick it up. But if you currently own the 7 Plus, I would, like I stated before, I would probably tell you to keep it. Yes, it is a better phone, but I don't think you're getting that much better of a device. Like, yes, you're getting the better cameras, kind of better looking display, better looking everything, but the 7 Plus can still hold its own. And I think going from a 7 Plus, like if the iPhone 11 was a 10 out of 10 or an 11 out of 11, the iPhone 7 Plus would probably be like an 8 out of 10, maybe 7.5, but I think it checks off most of the boxes that the iPhone 11 does. Obviously, the 11 software support, you can't really beat that. The kind of better build quality coming from it, this matte black version. But the price is so much cheaper for a 7 Plus, and this one is still getting software support. But on top of that, you can also pick up a 10R, which is much cheaper in the used market than this one. Even though this isn't that expensive, the 10R is still competitively priced. So what I'll do is I'll link the cheapest iPhone XS, 10, and 10R in the description below, so you guys can check those out and get them if you want to. But thanks so much for watching the video. That's pretty much it. Let me know what you would rather do, keep your 7 Plus or upgrade to an iPhone 11. Hit that like button if you guys enjoyed the video, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys get that. Also, check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel. All those links are linked down below. I'd really appreciate it if you guys could check it out. But more importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.